want? Okay, just let me catch up for a minute. Who's present here? Isabella. Okay, so Kathy.
Should the package and then bring it forward? Yeah.
At least if I know who's present, I can eliminate them from the list.
There you go. Oops, sorry.
Oh, thank you.
Another one. These are extra. Those are all yours.
Oh,
Yeah.
this is
Right?
your-
It was one and one of each, right? One and one, yeah.
Yeah.
What? This is stack.
And this is,
Yeah.
okay,
And then,
this
yeah.
is like this?
Yeah.
Yes. That's okay. I just want to make sure I'm following.
So, there, you don't have a quorum.
Well,
What does that mean? We don't?
we can't vote on anything, but we can have an informal meeting, can't we?
You can have an informal
You
meeting.
just can't vote on anything. We can't make a voting decision,
Correct?
right?
You
Yep.
have 10 people on your board,
Mm-hmm.
and you only have 5 here.
So you need to have half
One
plus one, right?
Mhm.
Okay. Gotta remember that too. We did make a, I think we can.
Can we change it to a workshop and not have an effective meeting? And then we can at least discuss,
Absolutely.
but we still can't make voting decisions to go forward or anything of that sort.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Make it a workshop.
I make a motion to close the meeting of the rec department.
I'll second it.
Second.
I make a motion to open a rec committee workshop.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Continue on.
Okay. Just a quick question. I know, Kelly, I'm not even sure who she, was talking, I know she talked to me, I know she talked to you, Kathy, but we were talking, she was talking about actually, the before and after care. I think she was talking about $25 per day. Wasn't she running numbers like that last night? I think she was. In the spirit of increased revenue. So I know we can't vote or make decisions or anything like that, but, I mean, it's on the table that,
What did you want to do?
she's talking about, charging by the day, before and after care by the day. And, but still keeping it at a $25 charge, which is,
$200 a day
yeah.
for before and after?
Yeah, so I'm thinking, I'm not sure if we actually want to go that route. I like the flat fee route.
I would say $10 a day would bring you to $100 extra dollars a week.
Yeah. So the reason why I'm bringing that to the table is, again, it's one of those things that as a group, we have to decide, is that a good thing or not so good thing? So, maybe someday when we have more people, we can.
I would suggest going with a flat rate, and maybe bringing it up from $30 if we don't think that's enough, but not a actual, like $25, $30 a day.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna work. It's gonna be
You want to at least
too
cover
much.
your salaries of whoever's going to be working there. That's your bottom line thing. So, you know, also it might depend on how many children are going to attend either before or after or both. But what you want to do is, because you're going to pay additional to, well, you're going to pay for 8 hours. So you're going to have one come in an hour later and say an hour or something like that, right?
Well, we starter.
One
So
early
one
starter,
early,
one
one
late.
late.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you're not gonna pay any more for the salaries, because although they never worked 8 hours before, correct?
Mm-mm.
Working on.
No, they were 9 to 3.
They were 6 hours.
6 hours,
6 hours
okay.
a day.
So technically, you're increasing it by 2 hours, so you maybe want to capture that cost
And that's,
for the 2 hours,
yeah.
with before and after.
So I just sent out the minutes from Sunday, and we said one start at 7:30 or 8 o'clock in the morning, depending, and then the other one start like 2 hours later to cover the aftercare. And we also discussed to have two people and to make it 16, use the two part-time people. One doing the mornings and one doing the aftercare, one doing before care and one doing aftercare. But then the director and assistant director would be there to do opening and closing.
So you're gonna have a director and you're gonna have an assistant. You're gonna have two people at all times. So you should cover your expenses for your assistant, at least. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Yeah, because definitely you should have two people, for sure. That's a given. You should have two people at all times with children. So I would say you at least have to make it enough to cover your expense. What's the hourly rate?
11, assistant is $11 an hour.
Is what the last budget put in. But I was wondering,
So that's gonna be $22. Well, if it was only one child, it's $22 a day. Expense that you want to try to cover.
but if we put the director at what you guys suggested, which is $13.75 an hour, we're above both Dover and Somersworth. Is that asking too much? Should we go with one of the other options for the director, where, like 4,000 for the director would put it in the range of 12 or 12.50?
Does anybody know what it was previously? I'm sorry.
It was
I don't.
3,000 for the summer.
But that was
For the
based on-
director.
And that was also based on 30 hours a week too.
Okay.
Yeah, so she made, Kelly made 500 a week salary.
Okay.
So whether she was there or not there, she,
She made the money, so you wanna make it hourly,
I think so.
is that what you're saying?
No, we're still gonna do a stipend, assistant and director will be stipend, but we're just trying,
So you
Sake
can
of
have figure to make the
discussion.
stipend.
yeah.
Okay, so, and the, did they have an assistant before? Yeah, Tony was.
They did,
assistant.
Tony
What did
was.
Tony, what was his stipend?
I don't know from mine. On this one that says summer budget 2017, where it says suggestion 1, it has some of the 2016 numbers. And so it says right there the director was 3,000.
That didn't show anything for the assistant, but I got he did it for nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
And he got fired or left the program partly through. So we don't know what the total cost would have been if he had stayed the whole summer.
The assistant. But she wasn't totally alone, she had, helpers, the other labor. Okay.
So, and the way the budget is written for 2016, all of the salaries are in one.
Yeah, I know, that's why I didn't know what it was, yeah.
And I questioned Suzanne about that. Why is there a salaries line that has 550 in it right now, that has not been expended? And why is there a overage of 2,500 in the hourly wage line? And Suzanne said that at this point, the way the rec program ran the past year or two is that everything, all of the salaries have come out of the hourly line, and even though the salaries line is for the assistant and assistant director, it hasn't been used that way the last couple of years. So on here, it is separated out, like I did salaries and then total salaries, how much we would be bringing in, and to put in that line, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
And then I did summer labor, based on the counselors. So that the hourly,
How many counselors do you have? Do you have a total of 10 full-time? and
total
part-time?
for 8 hourly counselors would be, this is how much it is per counselor, that's for the total of 8, then 2 part-time, how much each part-time would make, and then this is the total for 10 counselors, 8 full-time and 2 part-time,
At $8 an hour?
at $8 an hour. So,
Are you gonna
For the
get-
part-time and the full-time getting the same amount? Yes.
but I'm wondering, my question is instead of paying the director $13.75 an hour, there was a discussion that Kelly brought up that Dover hires all college students and they get $10 an hour. Somersworth hires a mix and they get $7 to $7.50 an hour. So we're right in the middle at 8.
Mhm.
But some of, Mr. Wall, who came to our meeting, one of our meetings previously, has a daughter who was a counselor who said she was getting $8.25 an hour. And every year she returned, she got a 25-cent raise.
Mhm.
So maybe, like, dropping down the director and bringing up, and I'm not saying drop them down much, maybe just a small percentage, and then bringing up the counselors that are gonna be college level. And we're gonna offset some of the cost if we go through the UNH program that Kathy looked into. So that'll save us on some of the, that might free up a little bit of money that we could pay additional counselors. If they're paying half the salary,
But only for the UNH.
only for
Only
two,
two UNH.
Two, yeah, and 50% of that.
50%.
Yeah.
Right.
do if this is a workshop, do we still need minutes?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
because you
Short
presented,
minutes.
short, yeah, I mean,
Short
not.
minutes.
Right, so the question is, for, I guess Sundays, do we drop down?
Discussions about wages.
Right.
Are we overpaying or underpaying people?
Are you meeting again on Sunday?
Yeah, I guess so, yep. Sunday at 6:30.
When did
I
we
think.
decide that?
Oh, we need to decide it tonight.
Yeah, I wasn't even sure we were gonna do it, but we might have to if
Because
it
it
has
has
to
to
be
be
a
noticed.
package.
So,
Oh, because you have to meet, so you can meet with the select board on Monday.
Monday night.
Right.
And Dan and Kelly both said last night when we were walking out that they could make it Sunday night,
okay.
And we were hoping to ask others
tonight.
tonight.
And then if we notice it or we get it out tomorrow, maybe we can get a quorum.
You have to have a quorum. There's no choice. If you're gonna make a decision, you can.
And you
Vote
have
for
to
it.
email all that was appointed that if you are not gonna make a meeting, you have to email.
Um,
What time?
Because they need a form.
That was gonna be my suggestion,
Yeah.
is that we go ahead and do that because we need, I mean, because I'm just learning this stuff.
That's okay.
So I think
You guys are doing a great job.
top of mind was we need to find out who's gonna attend and who's not gonna attend each meeting.
Do you want me to send that out to, for it to be noticed?
Yes.
And I will send out an email to the rec department, to the rec committee, that we're meeting at 6:30?
6:30 Sunday.
Here.
Mhm.
Wait, let me check my calendar. Make sure I don't have some Christmas concert or something.
Is it okay to-
dinner?
Is it okay to make that
It's really
decision?
tough.
For some reason I have a Christmas concert at 2 and a mass at 6:30. I don't understand. That can't be right.
So-
So, bring them the bids.
Question, so what if we can't get a quorum for Sunday?
You don't
Then
have
we-
the approved budget to
You don't
do
have
that.
an approved budget to bring to town. I would just send out an email as soon as possible and get, I guess, a note, and then if Sunday can't work, maybe Saturday, you know, you gotta have, or everyone works, right, yeah.
I'm
No,
out
you
of,
don't, yeah.
I'm out of town Saturday, but I will be back Sunday afternoon.
Okay.
So somebody else would have to do minutes, but like Shayna said she could step up and do minutes.
Shayna's been.
In Connecticut, yeah.
Yeah.
She had a death, so she was attending service.
Okay, so we'll get that and we'll just monitor.
So we'll just have to see, you just say you need to have an answer as soon as possible, because you'd have to reschedule something like maybe an hour before town select board's meeting, or maybe delay your presentation if you have to to do it like Monday, to make your presentation to the select board and like 7:30, and that'll give you an hour to maybe do something.
Oh, yeah, we're here till like 10, so if you
Well, I don't
want
wanna
to
wait that long.
you want to meet at 6 o'clock Monday over there, then.
Yeah,
we're over
you know,
here.
maybe, if you can't get a quorum for Sunday, then possibly Monday before the select board, has their meeting, and then when you're ready, come into the room and they'll put you in the next possible time.
Okay,
That's another option.
okay.
So, I wouldn't put that out there until you get a no on Sunday, yeah. Oh, although, you can't make it Sunday?
Scott, if,
You gotta
I
check
don't know
with-
what that other thing is, but
Okay.
if it is true in my phone, Scott will.
Okay.
And I'm available Sunday, I can make myself,
I
Sunday
can-
afternoon,
I can
Sunday,
Yeah,
maybe Sunday, okay. Sweet, so, and Kelly,
so you just need really one more.
yeah, Kelly will definitely be here Sunday.
So-
And Dan said he could be here Sunday, so that would be,
So, if you- yeah, you just really need one more, because we're just shy one here, so.
Do you want me to put this would be our last Sunday meeting, and it's urgent that,
Yeah.
that we need to be able to present to the select board? and
Yeah,
try to-
we need responses either way, so yes,
Okay.
Yeah,
you're,
we're trying to help you out Sunday. Sometimes those always work, but.
all right, I'm gonna keep positive this will happen. Okay. Okay, I forget where we were now.
well, we were discussing wages.
Right, so on the table for Sunday is going to be, do we drop the director's fee?
At this point, you don't know who your director or assistant director is going to be, right?
We have no idea
Okay,
who the
so
director will be.
a suggestion, you know, and this is just putting it out there, is that I wouldn't reduce it at this time. If you submit it to the select board at this level, and then you find out who you have, because it's like a salary line, so a combination salary line. And then you find someone that you think really is gonna be dynamite and you wanna give them it, you can. If you find someone who's gonna be like in training, maybe you don't have to offer it that. You know what I'm saying? Give yourself a sliding scale, you know, higher than what you're budgeting, but possibly less depending on who's gonna apply. Because it's hard to say who you're gonna give a salary to when you don't even know who it is yet.
Yeah.
So I would leave it alone at this point.
And,
But I wouldn't spend it. If you're gonna give someone less money, that money shouldn't be spent on something else.
Right, I just think this is one of those situations where the advice to us was aim high. So we should aim high, and maybe this is just one of the things that it's not really a priority to sort out right now.
Yeah.
Because we do have, it's my opinion, strong opinion, but we do have the number that we can work with, and we should just leave that one
Yeah,
alone.
but doesn't mean you have to spend it. You
And-
know, it just,
yeah,
and if you,
it's,
it all depends who you get. you know,
and it could be just extra in our budget,
Or carry it forward.
carried forward in
Right.
the future if,
It is
If-
different.
yeah,
Or
if it comes in under budget.
if it comes in under budget, the two salary, positions, and you needed another counselor or part-time counselor, you could use it for that, based on numbers.
Right.
So, you know, I think that I would leave it at this point. Jody, did you discuss with the board of selectmen, about the funds that are raised by the rec committee versus what has to be spent or sent to the town, and if there's profit from the rec, do they keep it?
We just found out that there was a checkbook.
Who has that? Well, they had to have a checkbook, that was my whole point, they had to have a checkbook, how would they handle it?
The select board just found out.
Who has that?
Kayla, I think Kayla still has it.
So I wouldn't, well,
So,
my opinion is I
was-
wouldn't have them in charge of the checkbook, it has to be the treasurer of the committee who would write the
correct,
checks,
correct.
not the administrator who is doing the program, that doesn't make sense to me.
Suzanne already sent an email that it get returned to Caroline ASAP.
Yeah.
And wait for a look at it.
And find out where the bank is and all of
It's
that. and-
Citizens, we know that.
Okay, and who's on the account, because you
Who's
have to
signing
get
it.
that taken care of. Because you need to have multiples, you would have the treasurer, you probably have the chair, you probably, or co-chairs. Because you wanna have someone else who can sign other than the person who is the treasurer, so maybe even your offices, your
Yeah.
secretary, your co-chairs, and your treasurer, you'd have your primary and then the secondary, what?
I'd rather not be involved with the financial.
I mean, that's fine, I mean, that's okay, I understood,
I've had to.
when I was with the fire department, we had multiple
Yeah.
levels, so someone was keeping a second eye on who was doing, and there's nothing wrong with that, it's just having a co-signature on a check when
And we'll
necessary.
discuss that further probably
Okay.
on Monday.
So it would stay with Brett then, I would assume. Anything that is.
I will make that suggestion,
Yeah.
to Suzanne and the board. Literally, we just found out about it on
Okay.
Monday.
All right. Because, I mean, in the event that we do have some good fundraising events, you can buy stuff like games and stuff to help enhance your program.
Well, this is
If
one
you-
of the reasons why, I'm sorry,
That's okay.
the board wanted an umbrella program
Yeah.
to help each other.
Right, right.
So, that was
Yep.
our vision
Yeah.
18 months ago.
Yep, yep.
So, because if the more we can do to make one revenue neutral, and now we find out we have basketball too, now we can help basketball if we have the
Sure.
funds, so, and so on
And
and
vice
so on.
versa. Yeah.
So just to be clear, we don't actually know if that money's staying with us or it needs to go back into,
That money will roll back into general fund right now,
okay.
but it'll be.
What money will go back into general?
There's
fund?
$5,000 in that checking
Oh,
account.
I'm sorry, we didn't tell you there was money in
Oh.
it.
Why would that go back into the,
That's what Suzanne said, so it's,
but it isn't the town of Rollinsford checking account?
apparently it is,
Oh, it is?
supposedly.
Suzanne said
Well,
after
I
the
think-
meeting that she had set it up with somebody last summer. I don't know,
Interesting.
and that she knew that Kayla had been a signer on it, but that's all.
But somebody from the town would have had to have signed on that, and our treasurer would have had to known on that, and the auditor would have had to known on that.
They would have had to audit it.
Right. And
Mhm.
I didn't see anywhere in the audit book.
Mhm.
I could have missed it.
See,
So we'll find out, we'll figure it out.
Did you know about that as in previously involved in that? No?
So we'll move forward.
Yeah, we'll move forward.
And-
Yeah.
and
It'd be
we'll figure
interesting
it
to
out.
know where that came from though, because I know this previous years, town had to support money.
But what if it's profit?
There wasn't a profit, that's my point, the
Oh,
town,
not
so
even
that was my
town
question
sales.
last night to Suzanne, is, what happens, because you're basing it on numbers that you don't really know about yet. Because you're assuming last year, or maybe a little more, a little less, but what happens if you don't get the numbers and you still have the program? Will the town pick up if you cannot be neutral? And it was pretty much, we'll do what we can to help,
Absolutely.
And so but I wanted to make sure that that was clear, because at first it was like, it has to be,
Yes, we are aiming for revenue neutral.
yeah,
We're also aiming for an umbrella
yeah,
of all rec.
Yeah, well, that makes sense.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
So you were asking the question, what if this coming year there happens to be a profit from sales? So your question is, does that stay with the rec or does that go back?
Right.
That would be my question too.
Yeah, because I would hope that we would be able to do some funding, like year-round, to be able to support some programs that may come up and be able to have that revenue. I mean, I certainly think that because it's part of the town, that we would submit a report into the town report, so people see what we have and see what we spent it on. The accountability, 100%, but I would think that we would have the right to maintain our account.
Right, and it's not like in previous years when we're gonna have a start and a finish. We're in it all year.
We're talking about all year round now,
So it's not gonna
exactly.
be, so the money's gonna come and go, you're gonna be writing checks all year. So it's not.
So it shouldn't be turned over at the end of the year, because it should just be carried forward every year. But again,
I
you
would
have to
think
submit a financial statement saying this is what's there, this is how it was generated, and, and making sure that the town who put it in their budget, it's been taken care of in full, then it should be able to be rolled over.
Right.
That would be my opinion.
Is that where there was initial discussion about being a committee versus a commission?
I don't
Is
know what
that
the
where that
difference is,
comes in?
someone has not given me a satisfaction answer to that, I don't really know what the difference is.
Somebody had said,
There's an RSA and the select board can appoint, we, as a select board, will have to put that on our agenda to, we never adopted the quote-unquote RSA as a town. I looked through all 30 years of our
Mhm.
books. We had a Parks and Playground Committee before the RSA ever existed. So they've been running on that when New Hampshire stepped in and created an RSA. We just never adopted it. But there are RSAs that says that it can be a committee and the select board relinquishes you guys to run it, but we are the, I guess, the executors of the account, blah, 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 blah. I'll send you the RSA.
Okay.
So, but yes, the
Okay.
select board will have to make that much more clear. We've always had a hands-off approach all these years, and
Right.
moving forward, we all three of us agree that we can't do that.
Right, right.
I thought the difference between a committee and a commission was that you got to hold your own money, so I may be wrong.
Which one can hold your own money?
A commission, and that's, like, I'm on the historical committee, which just started, and there is a group of 6 or 7 of us right now that are really into doing some stuff, and we wanna move forward with getting grants, so we're going before the town in January, the select board in particular, to have a warrant article written to be a commission, and then we could apply for grants with the stipulation that the grants that we do apply for go through the select board so that they know that, like, we're getting money in and what it's to be spent on and stuff
Are
like
you a 501(c)(3)? Nonprofit?
that. To be a 503C nonprofit, you would have to change over to a historical society.
Well,
And-
REF is a 501(c)(3). That's not a society.
Well, for the historical thing.
Oh, okay.
And on the historical lines, you have to be a historical society, but the state also offers a heritage commission,
Okay.
which is the same as a committee,
Mhm.
run through like a town,
Mhm.
but you don't have to change everything over to a society,
Ah.
which then involves being a 503C.
Mhm.
And this would just keep it within the town and maybe simplify the budget process for them.
Do you wanna hear, I just Googled it. Do you wanna hear the definition?
Yes.
Okay, committee may be standing, which means they exist more or less permanently, meaning their existence will cease when they make their final report. Commission, a commission is usually appointed by a government body. The members aren't usually elected, nor do they generally hold up their hands and volunteer.
Well, we're like both. Well, we're more of a commission than we were appointed by the Board of Select
We're
Board. All of us
by the
are.
Board of
Yeah,
Selectmen.
even
That's
though we
where that-
volunteered to be appointed by the Board of Select Board.
Yeah, that's where the
So it's
RSA
more of a
states how
commission.
it can be, you can be appointed by the
Mhm.
select board, or, I'll send it.
Yeah.
That's not an issue for tonight, you just
Yeah.
need a budget for Monday.
Yeah.
And we also, something about a rotating basis or something, is that supposed to be in there?
That's how the town had done it since the 60s. They were on you were on it for 3 years and it was a rotating basis. And then somewhere in the 80s it stopped and then it picked up again, but you were only appointed for a year. So-
All of them, so
All
it
of
wasn't
them.
rotating it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I liked, if you read the
I didn't
minutes,
print it out
like,
before, I just
the
read
2
it.
that weren't
Oh,
running
I
that year
see.
appointed the
So
3rd.
this is the original version.
And then the 2 that weren't
Mhm.
running that year appointed the 3rd, so they were just throwing each other under the bus for like 4 years. It was very cute to read over and over
Down
again.
to the bathroom during town meeting.
So we know that we know the director and the assistant director. Now the director is up for negotiation, the assistant we think we're okay with. Yeah.
It's only a $200 difference between what was proposed and what it would go up to, so.
Okay. Counselors, we just talked about that. Payroll taxes, am I correct in assuming that's 9%? Do we know?
I would leave that 2,000 you have in there.
Okay, now, if you look at the one that says summer
Carolyn,
rec
it's awesome.
budget 2017, there are 2 pages. And so it goes like this, suggestion 1 and suggestion 2.
Oh, I see, okay.
And so it breaks between suggestion 1 and suggestion 2. And then the numbers that are lighter are the numbers that change over the different suggestions. If that
Oh,
makes
okay.
sense. They were supposed to come out red and they didn't.
Can I ask where you ended up for your expenses versus income? Is it here on the something?
No, I did not do that. However, for, this is,
This is what,
this one, I believe is this, it goes like this. So this one was 33,000, this one was 30,000, and then this was the one that I brought last week that was right around 29 or 30,000 too. So,
On the background check, did you ever fingerprinted and do background checks on any of the people who are involved? Well, if you have teacher labor, that was already done through the school, so you wouldn't have to do that. Right? Like when, Sue Moya did it, and Pony area would have been already taken care of. Bryant would have been already taken care of, because they were all teachers.
yeah,
But
so,
any of your, support staff was not.
and that's a question about, I don't know, maybe we need to ask the police chief, is there an age limit on when they can do a background check? Do you have to be 18 to get a background check? Can we hire somebody 16?
We weren't hired, I thought we weren't hiring anybody under 16.
we hadn't planned on it.
Yeah, I think that, you know, you certainly need to talk to Chief Duchamp, but I think that anybody who's going to be responsible for individual children should have a background check. I'm surprised that it wasn't.
And it may have been done, just not accounted for in a background check, sort of in a line by itself.
So we know with fingerprinting, I think Kelly got a cost of $52 per background check.
Yeah, I think it's just because you have to send it to the state police. I mean, they do it for nothing downstairs, then it's, the fee is for when you send it to the state.
And so, if you look at, the background checks in suggestion 1, that's to cover just 10 or, that was your number, I think, that you put in.
That was based on, should be based on, let me go back to it, 12, should be based on 12 people.
It should be your entire staff.
Yeah.
And then I added on suggestion 2,
Should have the math right.
I added in 3 extra ones in case one of them comes back that makes the candidate ineligible. Or I was thinking they apply for the job and then something else comes up and they decide not to work for us. Say they get another job at another camp. So then we have to account for maybe a couple of them, having to do a couple extras in that case.
Yeah.
So that's why in suggestion 2, it's a little bit more.
But any of your reoccurring, once you do this, when you reoccurring every year, you won't have to do this again.
Right.
I mean, this is just because they haven't had it before, you know, so, you know, and you may not have to use all of this, because some may have already had it, depending who your assistant director, your director is, they may be part of the school or another school or something, and they may have already had it done, and if that's the case, you don't have to do it again,
Yeah.
as long as it's on file.
So I think as far as background checks in the budget, I think we should just leave it as it is. We've got it for 12 people, let's just leave it like that.
Yep.
One of the other things, I don't wanna jump around too much, I just, I don't know if we're in the line here. First aid and CPR, did we find out if there was a charge for us?
I saw an
Free
email.
charge.
Free of charge from the fire department, right?
Anytime you're ready to do it, they'll go ready.
Okay.
And where did you get your, quote for field trip transportation? Is it for a student?
So that was me, I called for a student.
Okay.
I talked to Lisa there, she's giving us the school rate.
Yep.
And she guaranteed it for 2017. It did go up 3% from this past year, but, and she said the only thing that she's asking from us is that we give her a 2-week notice because there was a little bit of issue with that last year.
Yeah, and I think the year before as well, so
Yeah.
I would, if you're gonna have, like, you said you were gonna do or plan to do once a week to the pool or something.
Yeah.
Give her the whole schedule for the whole summer,
Yeah.
and then they have it, and if it changes, then call them and tell them, that's been revised.
And I think once we get past the budget, we could, and in the spring, and we have a director, I think that's a conversation to have with them.
Mhm.
Make sure that they pick the 2 days that they're gonna want to go to the pool, and one that's a field trip day, so it's consistent
Mhm.
over the
Mhm.
summer. And Dee talked to somebody there, and I emailed them about how much it would cost to charter a bus for a day, because I didn't know what we were looking at, and to charter a bus is $60 an hour. So we're much better going with her rate. than-
Charter bus, like, with who?
For student too. You can charter buses for like a day.
And what does that mean, you have it from 8 to 8, or?
Yeah.
I mean, is that what you, well, what do they do when they go beyond going to the pool? What do they do when they go to Kennedy Lake Park or something? They have to do it the whole day, don't they?
I would think so, but I don't know how they did it last year, but this year for us, they'll do it by the hour.
So
You
yeah,
know what, they did it by the hour last year too.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's by the hour, it's
Okay.
not, there's a minimum of 4 hours though. But they don't do it
Because
by
they
half
stay.
days or full days.
Yeah, okay.
And
But-
what was that rate? I'm sorry.
It's, for 2017, will be $36.87 an hour. And this, the total that we came up with, the 2960, is based on 2 field trips per week.
One pool and
One.
one whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
We based that whatever on 6 hours.
Right, you do your whole day.
Yeah.
Because you want to end when your day ends anyway, so.
Mhm.
and you just said that the minimum for busing, was 4 hours.
Mhm.
And when I did it, I made sure that I covered 3 hours, like getting everybody from Wallingford on the bus, getting them all over there, and then unloading and swim for like 2 hours, and then getting them all back on the bus, even though it's only a 10-minute drive. I was still accounting for everybody getting on and off and all of that.
Oh, it's an hour's easy.
Okay,
Mhm.
so I think we stayed with what we have for transportation.
Mhm.
It's my opinion.
Yep.
So payroll taxes, we know that we should probably check with Karen. Just to be sure. What else did I wanna bring up? It was background checks. Activities, we put the activity line in here for $280 because Kelly, realized that, she figured out what the cost was gonna be for the state trips. So it's $35 per busload. And she based the $280 on 8 trips of $35 each. But that's the only thing we have in there for activities.
Oh, that's their
I see
budget,
that here.
the one with the yellow.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
okay.
okay.
I apologize, we are skipping around a little bit. It's because we have 2 separate spreadsheets going.
Yeah.
So that's what she based the activity on.
However, I did, talking about activities, I did my own research, and if you look at these 2 pages, they go together, the activities, and then this one is what goes along with it. Doodlebugs is willing to do a program within our, within the school, or come up to RGS to do a program, but she will limit the size of the groups to 50 kids. So either she said she could come up 2 days and she could do half the kids one, half the kids other, or she could just do a subset of the kids, or she could, it was up to us how we wanted to do that. And she's willing to apply for a grant. Does that have to be in the budget? That was my question.
Yeah, because if she doesn't get the grant, you gotta pay her, if you're still gonna do it. right? I mean, grants are not a guarantee unless you have it right now and you know it, so.
Okay.
Who's she applying the grant from? Aria?
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, I broke it down in what it would be to do 2 sessions and what it would be to do 1 session, based on that number of kids. But, evidently I did the math wrong, because to do 1 session is gonna cost more.
Well, I can tell you that her numbers are way higher than Aria will give her, just to let you know that.
And that's
Are
based
you
on,
saying $5,175 is what the cost is?
I'm saying that's wrong.
Oh,
I miscalculated it. I'm saying she charges $45 for a 4-week session.
$45 per child for a 4-week session.
Total.
$45 a week or
For the-
45 total?
45 for the 4 weeks.
Okay,
Oh.
per child.
Choose 2 4-week sessions, and it's $45 per
Yeah.
child for 1 4-week session
What's that 115, what is that?
per session.
That was the number of kids that I was basing it on, based on that we had,
And
Around-
but she said she can't do that.
no,
And
so
how many can she do?
she can do 50 at a time. So she can do, 100. But she said,
Go ahead, sorry.
that's okay. But she said, some kids choose not to do it, and other kids do choose to do it.
Mhm.
And she does after,
2,250.
I'm sorry, what was that for?
2,250.
Which is more than what we would do. So you have to budget some of it.
yeah. So I don't know. And she may not, my question is then do we not? I don't know.
I think that might be a decision for Sunday, because
Yeah.
we now have 2 field trips on the agenda, or what we're hoping it will be on the agenda. So we'll budget for that. But I think as a group, we want to decide, do we want to do more than that? If we do, we gotta throw some more money in the budget.
This REF, is $1,000
Yeah.
for a grant, so that, it's way higher than what REF would be able to do. I mean, they could do something towards it, but someone else would have to do the other half, or, you know,
Yeah.
so, that's just an FYI.
I definitely appreciate the ideas here,
For
sure.
So Wildlife Encounters comes to us based on, and it, for, I think, their programs run from 195 to 600, depending on which program you choose to
Were
do.
you at Family Day this year? That was a $500 program. So they have, I think it's 7 live animals. It's an hour.
And all of their prices are online
Mhm.
at their website,
Mhm.
so if people wanted to check it out. Then I emailed Seacoast Science Center, they have a traveling exhibit, and it's $150 for a 1-hour session for up to 30 kids, and they have several different options available with different age groups. And I can, send you the flyer that she sent me, and then,
Where is that?
Odeon Point.
And they come to you.
And they come to you and they, like, one of them is a tidal pool, they bring tidal pool animals and you can touch like the lobster and the sea urchin and stuff like that. I will put it on the resource file and you can look into that. And so they have different options. And then for us to go there, depending on the amount of kids, would be 150, or the kids in the program, it's 150 to 250, but that's only for 25 kids. So I don't think, if we go to Odeon Point, I would opt out of going into the Science Center, because I think it'd be cost prohibitive. And then the swimming at the Jenny Thompson pool's in there. And Kelly had mentioned indoor ascent, because you have to sign a contract with them. Each parent/guardian does, according to their website, and you have to call for group rates
What is this for, the pool?
The indoor set in Dover, next to Red Shoe Barn.
Oh, is that the climbing gym? Oh, okay.
And then Dover Bowl, they do group rates, but you have to call and get a thing. And then I took your number for the New Hampshire State Parks. Maine State Parks, are $1 for children 5 to 11, and adults are $3 per person. So that would be a total of $4 for most, or an average of $4. And that includes Vaughan Woods, which is right in South Berwick, that has a playground and a bathroom there, and Fort McClary, down in Kittery. So,
That's a good price.
but I've been to Vaughan Woods a couple of times and to Fort McClary because my husband does reenactments there, and I've just walked right in, and the only thing I see to pay your money is a donation bin on your way in. So, I don't know.
I will have to tell you, I'm a little bit conflicted because I know my kids in their age group, they like state parks and they like to go swimming and stuff like that, you know, but they wanna be out there bowling, they wanna be doing fun stuff, they wanna go to Funtown Splash Town, they want that opportunity. I'm not saying I don't want to integrate these programs, because I do, I mean, I think it'd be really fun, we just have to find a way to do it.
I
'Cause I
think,
think that's a good selling point
I think
to families.
I think you'd be better off separating your groups and doing 2 different field trips. Keeping the younger kids home at the base, while the older kids go to Funtown Splash Town.
Oh,
I can tell you,
definitely.
I'm not sending my second grader to Funtown Splash Town without me.
Yeah, no, I totally get that.
So,
Like, that's when you can also open it up to maybe parents going with the field trip as supervisors as well.
then they have to be background check.
That's right. Yeah, maybe some are though.
Some are.
Because if they do it through the school, they already are.
Right, it's almost like your end of your school field trips, they go on the trip based on the age group.
so, but I
I'm fine
did,
with going to Milton Pond, but I'm not fine with Funtown Splash Town.
Funtown Splash Town is between $21 and $28 per person, based on their website for rates to get in the
It's
door.
an awesome place to go though,
But
but,
it's fun.
I would be concerned about any water things without lifeguards. I don't know, do they have a lifeguard? That would be, they do.
They do,
Okay,
oh
I
yeah,
not.
they're everywhere there.
Okay. You know, because then you're putting the responsibility on your counselors to be there. And I just,
Again, maybe it's something we don't do, maybe not even this year, but it's, you know.
Well, I think that's a good idea, but for the older kids,
Mm-hmm.
and then the younger ones will wanna keep coming until they're old enough to go. You know, they'll wanna keep
Yeah.
coming to rec until they're old enough to.
But you also could take the younger kids bowling.
Right.
Or, you know, they could do
Yeah.
something special
Or-
too, a different field trip.
Oh,
you
Or
know?
they go to Vaughan Woods, where there's a playground and
Mhm.
space to run, and they can go through the woods,
Mhm.
and there's a bathroom right there, or something like that, where it's not nearly as far away.
My kids love climbing Mount Job in Barrington.
Mhm.
They love it, absolutely love it.
So, and then, I put in transportation, and if each kid pays $5, you'd come up at five, and when we have 110 or 115 kids, that's how much we're bringing in for transportation,
Is that $5 a trip or $5 total?
$5 a trip.
So they're paying the cost of the transportation as well as the cost of admission,
Yes.
plus the cost of being there and the program.
And their own food.
And
Either
then
they either bring their lunches, or they bring money to buy lunches at these places. That's my understanding as how it's been in the past. And then at the bottom, I put, with no grid marks, is other ones that are here in town, like trips to the town library, and we'd have to talk to the library staff and we could get them involved in the summer reader program. Trips to the community garden, and then board games and stuff that happen there. Baking, because you said something about cooking.
Yeah, I didn't know if, with the kitchen, I don't know if that's something we wanna get into, like a liability thing, or,
You mean
But
it's a
they
grade
have
school kitchen?
yeah.
You won't be able to use a grade school kitchen.
Okay.
Yep, that's nobody can use it without having the person who runs the program there.
And then a Lego / Tinker Club, the library has a couple boxes of Legos, but they don't offer a Lego club. And
I haven't done some Legos, you could, I will totally burning that off the camera, so my son doesn't see it.
But, I mean, some kids love like Legos and robotic camp, and then like, for the younger kids especially, like water, rice, Play-Doh, different kinds of textures that they can go play in. And that all can happen right here in our community, and it's not gonna charge us. And then, I did do an income one too. Based on different weeks and what the number of children were last year. And stuff like that. And different costs. And my thought had been, I don't know, is that well, right now the registration fee is $35 per family. And I thought about the t-shirts, and that, what is her name, Kristen Blanco offered to help. She sent me an email I brought to the last meeting, to help design and find sponsors for the t-shirts. And she did them for the Family Fun Day, and she said charge $6 for the t-shirts, or expect that, but she would be willing to work with us. So I
You
put
did
it,
it for the run, not for Family Fun Day,
yeah,
right?
for the run.
For the run, right.
So I thought if we could add $5 for every child, for every additional child past the first one on the registration fee, you'd bring in an extra $180 just for t-shirts. But I don't know if that's too expensive, or if we wanna do that or not do that. I don't think it's on there. I put it in on, I put it, these are just expenses, and then I did a separate one just for income.
So she'll put a design on the t-shirt, is that what she'll do?
Yeah, and then in the back, she had people who sponsored the race. The
Okay.
businesses who sponsored the race, I believe she had it on the back of the t-shirts. So I think that in any event, t-shirts are a must on field trips. So I wouldn't make it too expensive if we're making them do it. I think,
We could just go
I
with
should do
the,
just the cost, what our cost is for that,
so the $35, and that includes your t-shirt when you register?
for one child. Maybe then, any additional children, you get one t-shirt with registration, any additional children you would have to get, but I would make it cost for the initial. Now, if someone wants to buy them and have extras, we had talked about having that be extra money, then you can increase it a little bit.
Yeah.
But because we're saying it's a must wear it on any field trip, and if you don't come with it, you don't go, bottom line. And that needs to be right out there. We should at least have it as reasonably as possible, because we're making it a mandate. And if you're gonna get sponsorships, it's probably gonna cover the cost of the t-shirt.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking.
So truly, it probably won't cost us anything, but you can get something from
Yeah.
any additional ones, one free registration.
One, the first included in registration, and then each additional one,
So even if you have 3 or 4 children in the program, it's still a free t-shirt at the one family registration rate.
Yeah.
One free. right?
Yeah, and then you would pay for the.
Okay.
Because you're
So-
not doing registration for all of them, you're doing a family registration, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, so
And then-
Kelly, if you added her t-shirts, cause she has 5 kids, it would be the first one free, and then if you added on to the registration fee, it would be $55 total for all the t-shirts and the registration fee.
I think that's how we figured it out here. On the income side, we just used to, I think we used last year's numbers to figure out how much it would be.
So,
So you're the same as, your numbers show the same as what?
Yeah,
Okay.
and what I figured was, even though Kristen says that the t-shirts are like $6, charging $5 helps offset the costs.
Mhm.
It doesn't necessarily cover the costs, but we'll have like
But if
sponsorship.
you get sponsorship, you're really covering it in addition to what your sponsorship is, so. I
And
think that's fair.
Jody said, like, she might, or give parents the options of getting extra shirts, and then they can buy extras at, I don't know, do we wanna do it the same rate of $5?
Mhm.
Okay,
so what would a sponsor fee be?
We'd have to ask Kristen what she did with the raise. I don't know what they did.
Yeah,
I don't know.
and I did write to her,
They're sponsoring well, wait a minute, they were sponsoring the race, not the t-shirt. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, for instance, like what Family did, we got a donation from some businesses, but they were donating it well, we didn't do t-shirts, they were donating towards fireworks, but, you know,
right, right.
so they weren't necessarily doing it to buy the shirts. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? But
right.
they put their names on the shirts, because they were sponsors of the event. Not sponsors of the t-shirts. I'm sure that the library then, or whoever does
The
it,
library.
they bought the t-shirts with that sponsorship money.
Yeah.
And then the rest went to the library for whatever they did, I'm assuming.
yeah, so, and I did specify to Kristen that, like, we would need some that say staff on the back, cause we
Mhm.
clearly wanna signify the staff versus the campers.
Mhm.
I'd have them probably like it from color too,
Mhm. Yeah, exactly.
because some of them are gonna be the same height.
Mhm.
Super, right.
And how many, you put in t-shirts did you put in t-shirts for expenses? Right here. And how many t-shirts did you,
I'm not even sure, Kelly gave me that number, but you know what, I don't think I wrote down how she came up with that. Let's freaking
because
find it on here.
I figured, what I did, cause that matches my number of $6 per shirt for 12 staff, each getting 4 shirts.
Each staff member getting 4 shirts, and
And-
you're giving them to them.
Yes. So that would be a total of 48 shirts. And then, 115 shirts for campers at $6 each would be $6.90. So if you add $6.90 and $2.80, you would get, I think, right around the number you got, which was, $9.78.
Yep, right around there, yep,
So,
that is $9.78.
I was wondering, do we wanna cut back on the amount of shirts we give to the staff? And,
And your staff shirts might be more expensive because they're being adult sizes versus children's sizes,
That's
so
true.
I don't know if 6 is gonna be correct for your adult size.
It's usually about 8.
It's usually a little higher, yeah.
Oh, yeah, we've done softball, right?
And who do you go through?
I usually use,
Lawrence?
Collins
Collins?
in Rochester,
Blue
but the
Dog?
last couple of years, Blue Dolphin doesn't like to do small budgets anymore.
Oh, really?
So, Seacoast Printing, who's right in the mill,
Yeah?
Summers Road Softball has been using them the last
Yeah.
couple of years. Mark was our president, and he started using them, and he loves them, so.
I think we got some for Cancer Walk there too, and I thought the quality was really great. I think it was the ones down in the
Oh,
middle.
yeah, they're both great.
Yeah, yeah. I would definitely get a quote there for sure. You
Okay.
can town. Buy local.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So I will contact Kristen and find out who her vendor is.
Yep.
And then and talk to her about sizes, and make sure that she knows, like, we're talking counselors that need adult sizes, and make sure that $6 is,
Yeah, yeah.
not the exact number, so.
And how she get, or what she charges for sponsors.
Yeah, I said, what would it be for the actual amount, for the sponsor fee? Make sure the staff's written on the back and that they're a different color, that the staff shirts are probably more expensive, and, we need a quote from Kristen from who she uses and to check down at the mill.
Mhm.
Do they want Rollins right
On it?
on it?
Almost a rec program, right? I mean, or rec something, don't you want that on the,
She'll
I'm not
create
sure
a
what
logo
they-
on the front.
What they looked like last year.
I didn't know if I ever saw.
We didn't get
I've
one.
never seen one.
No.
I've always seen the basketball ones, but I don't know.
But staff on the back and
Yeah,
Rollins would rec on the front, I would
Mhm.
think.
yeah, when my kids went, cause
And a bright color.
And, yeah, and like
Mm.
neon.
they had that neon,
Mm-hmm.
color, and it said, on the front, I think it said Rollins for rec.
And staff.
I agree though, it should be a bright
Right
neon.
Oh, yeah,
And
sure,
the
especially
staff
the
should be
staff,
bright.
and then maybe another neon color for the
Campers.
campers.
They have an orange, they're bright orange,
The
orange,
lime
maybe,
green, or
yeah.
whatever, yeah, either one of them. So
Lime
just
green,
one
orange,
from
yeah.
the-
Yeah,
You wanna see
Let's-
them?
but let's make it different than last year.
What was last year?
I don't know, but yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, just to be different.
Yeah, I agree, should do that.
Even
Kristen
though
will do a nice
I
job.
enjoyed having one, like I could pull one from last year, so we ended up having like a whole bunch from each year. But I think because we're a new color.
But the other thing is that I know my boys do soccer in South Berwick. So they get 4 or 5 different colors. They have neon yellow, neon orange, neon pink, or hot pink, and stuff. And every year, we go over to South Berwick, the first day they get a new shirt. But I always have them wear the shirt from the year before, and my youngest one always picks out a green one, and my older one always picks out the orange. And then throughout the season, it's like 4 or 6 weeks, I just put on whatever South Berwick Pee Wee soccer shirt I can find, and it doesn't have to be the one from that year, because they all have the same logo.
But this year, it will have to be the same color.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd say we need to start fresh, and we need to say this is what it has to be.
Yeah.
So one color is what, the other thing we're looking at.
Yes.
Just one color for students and one color for staff.
The bright, the better.
Mhm. And now what about, a discount if they register early?
You brought that up last night.
Well, I just think the advantage is that if we know, have more of a number, even though it won't be a solid number, but if we get like kind of a feel for, early on, but I hate to discount, but maybe they could get a free shirt. They enroll early.
Well, they're getting a free shirt with registration.
Oh, that's
Right.
right.
And then you get an additional free shirt for the rest of the members if you do it early.
Yeah.
Because then that will also help you get your count of how many
Yeah.
shirts you need
Yes, yeah, yep,
and how many staff you need.
I know, yeah. Even
That's a
though
good thought.
it-
We'd have to work out what that would be. I mean, in terms of
the discount,
yeah.
well, Kelly said to go to up this to, $10 more.
And then discount it. What is it, Shaw's?
I know, right? Oh, I feel better now. I made a savings. While you guys are working on that, I was working on a donations list, for people to bring, freeze pops, bottled water, kickballs, soda, Gatorade, free Easy Ups, gift cards to Market Basket or Hannaford's, baby wipes, paper towels, shaving cream, popsicle sticks, glue sticks, construction paper, paper plates, sunscreen, art supplies, Play-Doh, Legos, board games, kickballs, basketballs, and footballs.
I don't think I have her copy this, but I have it all in a spreadsheet, which I can send you guys, that it's broken down into tabs. So one tab is just, expenses, one tab is just income, based on the different scenarios, one tab is just, activities. And then I did the supplies, and I broke it down on how much, and for the total food and drink, I just used your number of how much it would cost. But for a pop-up tent, I did some research, and it's between $60 and $250, depending on what brand and whether you get sides or not sides, or rain cover or not. And then the water bucket that we talked about.
Well, that's why I'm saying let's ask for donations first.
Mhm.
Once your budget's submitted, and then you throw this out to the townspeople, and they can bring it to town meeting, they can drop it off here, they can drop it off on my desk, and I can bring it upstairs, and we can have this. And this is the stuff that can wait until summer. You can't ask for snacks or anything until you're closer, because chips don't last that long.
Yeah.
And food pumps don't come out until the summertime.
Exactly.
Well, what do we need a pop-up tent for?
Well, there was discussion on Sunday that the kids, because we're not paying the staff through lunch, they send all the kids outside to be in the sun with no shade at the school to eat lunch, and they go inside or stand in the doorway and eat lunch. And now,
But that's, I'm not for that. Let's just get that.
I'm not either, I'm not really. Are you talking about a pop-up tent, or are you talking about one of those awning type things?
something to provide shade.
Easy, right? Like
An easy-up, well, I'm a little better with an easy-up than a pop-up, I mean, one of those, I was thinking of, those dome tents.
So,
that
You
you
know,
hang out in the
like a
yard.
pop-up
Are you
tent.
talking strictly just for shade at any time, or are you talking about shoving the kids outside?
No,
on the benches?
shade at any
Don't
time.
make Jody cry.
I'm not sure why we'd have to put kids outdoors so staff can have lunch inside, that scares me.
And-
Sorry.
Well, yeah, that's what's
That's
gonna
happened
happen
for
again.
years.
No, that's
And-
not
but
happening again.
it is nice to have shade outside. So
And
I
so-
don't mind them having, I want them to have.
So you're talking about the easy-up things, though,
Yeah,
you're not,
yeah.
I'm
Did I
thinking
say
of a
pop-up?
dome.
I'm sorry.
No,
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 pop-up
no.
tent, that's the one of those dome tents you zip in and zip, you get kids, no.
So this is, yeah, an easy up tent.
I know what you're talking about now,
And-
that's fine.
Yeah,
You can get them cheaper than that, though, if that's what you're talking about, one of those easy-ups.
Yeah.
and it
Maybe
was
somebody
also,
has one they wanna donate to.
and it was
Yeah.
also suggested, like, if we're playing softball, to put one up on the sidelines and then put a water jug under it, so the kids could go get water when they needed it.
Yeah, and to do crafts or on a
Yeah.
nice day.
I mean, it's better to be outdoors than it is to be in the building, I agree
Yeah.
with that 100%,
So-
and they do have to have some.
Yeah, the pop-up tent is an
Yeah.
easy up,
Okay,
so, that was just some of those things I was thinking about, but, so, from what, looking at your budget, you went with the $35 registration fee, right? For a
Yes,
family.
we did.
For, that's how you got your total.
Mhm.
And we talked about maybe a $5 additional t-shirt fee.
Mhm.
And then you guys went with the $30 a week, fees. So
For before and after.
for the 9 to 4,
Mhm.
but you raised the out of town $100, right? Cause those were not the numbers we had before, that Kelly had worked out
She
before.
had raised them up $100.
So this would be, instead of being 240 and 290, the out of town for a single family was 340. And then this was, 565 for 2 kids. And then she jumped this one to 750, to get you to that number, which I think was fine. And then I went with you guys on the, I think, before and after care for $30 a week is a good price. That brings in,
So
yeah,
that's $30 a week, whether you do both aftercare and before care, and either or, it's
Mhm.
just flat rate, right?
or both. Are you doing, is that both? You said either or is
I-
it both?
I think this was
for both. That's what we had discussed on Sunday, that it was
Right.
$30 for both. But we also discussed having, like, the part-time staff, one of them come in at 7:30 with this. And then Kelly said last night when she did the budget that she wanted to do it 8 to 9 and not 7:30.
Yeah.
Which made me think of those parents that have to be to work at 8. And that doesn't give them a chance to drop their kids off, or they drop them off with nobody there.
Yeah, another explanation for that was, baby steps, just let's try the 8 to 9 and then,
They can't drop them off and go in there, because they have to sign them in.
that's right.
I don't know, I think the 7:30 is gonna be a big draw.
Well, we can talk about that on
Yeah.
Sunday. If, I mean,
Yeah, you
everybody
just
feels
submitting
strongly
budget
about it.
right now,
Yeah.
and whatever you charge
Yeah.
for before and after care is gonna cover that hour
Mm-hmm.
and a half.
Right.
Because if you got charged $30 for before and after care, it's gonna cover the salary that you charge, your salaries. That's
Okay.
a done deal.
Mhm.
So then you just figure out the hours later on in the year.
Yep.
So don't worry, I don't think you should worry about that right now. You don't need the week right now. Yeah, okay.
And
I agree
if
with
you'd
that.
like, I can send you all the paper stuff. I can send you my budget laid out
Mm.
with the options online, so it's not so much paper and not so confusing.
Because 10 kids doing before and after care is $300. What, more than that? No, not $10 a week, it's $30 a week, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So that would be $900 a
Yeah.
week.
$900 for the season. No, yeah, you're right, okay, yeah.
So,
Lester already emailed us back, he will be here, and Kelly already emailed us back, she will be here. So you will have a quorum on Sunday.
Yay.
Yay.
You know, one of the other things, talking about your pop-ups and your easy apps, you might even wanna look at having, doing like one of those big party tents and installing it throughout the whole summer and not putting the easy apps, you know. Taylor Rental does them, some other companies do them, and we actually had it down at, for Salmon Falls Family Fun Day, and it was through the sheriff's department. And it didn't cost us a thing. So that's, I don't know if they would do it for the whole summer, but that's a possibility.
Oh, yeah, we just bought one, that we left up all summer.
Yeah, it's one of, it's a great, it's like the size of this room,
Mhm.
you know, with stakes in the ground, and, you know, you can have it in the field, you
I'm
know.
devil's advocate
Sure.
at nighttime. What
Yeah.
happens to it?
Well, I don't know, I mean, we had it there at nighttime and nothing happened to it.
For a day?
Yeah.
That's true.
Well, you're right,
I'm just
Yeah.
warning you that
yeah,
something will happen to it,
that's a possibility.
and
Yeah.
then we're responsible to pay
Yeah.
for it.
Mm.
but
Easy apps are just kinda, no,
Clumsy.
clumsy, kinda, you know,
We
But-
have to make sure that they're staked into the ground
yeah,
each
yeah,
day.
yeah.
To,
You'd have to have several to have enough kids to be able to sit under them and either do something or eat lunch or whatever. You have to have multiples for sure.
Mhm.
my other concern, talking about having a tent there long-term, is the school good with that? Is, they've had vandals at the school before,
Mhm.
and they were going to install cameras. Do they have their cameras installed yet? Because they were gonna put some on the exterior of the building, I think. And if they have their cameras, then I would be a little bit more convinced to do it, because then we know that at least there's something there that we could review. I don't know.
Well, we can always start with the easy apps and
Mhm.
maybe advance if it seems to work or whatever.
And if we're a whole year-round rec committee now, it's something to put on our wish list, I guess. Because it would be nice to have something, say, at the ice rink too.
Mhm.
So if you're ice skating, and you wanna go have a place to sit down, it'd be nice to have a bigger tent with a couple benches under it.
When you're presenting this budget on Monday, are you presenting just your rec department budget?
Versus
Winter Rec has a line in there for,
the $100.
no, it's up to,
$1,200.
That's because they asked for something, right? But it's normally $100.
Right.
But they've asked for a particular item, like a line or something.
Yeah.
I assumed it was just the summer rec.
Okay, and then, is that what you wanna present? Because you now have, well, we now have basketball program that we didn't realize we had.
And who's representing them on here, on this committee?
No idea.
So how do we know?
Is that active?
I have no idea.
Okay.
But if the basketball program, which is so new to me that is even part of summer rec, because it never was, it's through the school. But if they are part of that group, then someone has got to be here to tell us what to do, because I wouldn't have a clue.
And
So
so-
I would say at this point, we can't. I don't know what else to say, because we have nothing to go on. And we don't have any name of who's running the program, right? Last time I knew it was, go ahead, Goodwin Road.
Weldon came in
Yeah.
and said that he was handing it over, but he wanted to make sure he was handing it over with us knowing that we were, like, to make sure it was running and select board.
And he didn't say who was handing over to.
Thought he said, oh, I forgot her name, she's on the school board, Anderson.
Andrea
Oh,
Anderson.
Andrea Anderson. I did see something about, on Facebook about basketball, because they were worried about liability insurance or something, but she would have to give a budget as well of what that's, I mean, it would be a sub off of rec, you know,
Yeah.
with a grand total of something, but
Yeah, if we're trying to do an umbrella, do we at least put in a line with $1?
I think we asked the select board to put say we're presenting just as a summer rec, but we are looking towards the future at becoming full-time year-round rec, and could you add a line for basketball of $1?
And what other programs are out there that are gonna be under this umbrella?
I think we're fine.
I know, so that's the scary part, because nobody knows about this stuff.
So, right
I
now,
hate to laugh, but.
My
Well,
impression-
I know.
my impression was that it was summer rec, family fun day. When we started in March, my understanding was it was summer rec, family fun day, and then, the ice rink, which was winter rec. We've since found out basketball is included,
Yeah.
and I joined in March, and Kathy and I have talked about this a little bit, to do senior programs, which has been put on hold for the next 6 months to a year until we get, summer rec up and running safely and coherently.
Yeah, okay, well, Summer Falls Fun Day is a subcommittee of it, but, it has its own committee as well, so, I mean, that's gonna stay the same, right? Just
Right.
as any of the other groups will be having their own, so, yeah, I mean, I suppose we need to put a basketball in, I mean, I don't even know about it, but we should, and like I say, put $1 in, but,
And Suzanne said that she had received the bylaws and stuff from the RGS basketball program, or the travel, and that it is now on the Google Drive under rec in one of our folders.
did they ever have a budget anywhere? Oh, I don't,
Apparently, in 2012, it came to the board that wasn't the board that's here now,
yeah,
and said that the insurance was gonna be too high, so they put it under winter rec. And they have been raising their own money
that's what I
and
thought.
their own funds and just doing their own thing.
Yeah,
And, well, we're like, well, if you're under our insurance, we need to know what your bylaws are,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
what your age group is, like, cause in softball, there's certain rules, you can't have certain kids playing
Mm.
with certain ages, same thing with basketball.
So they only got under your umbrella because they needed liability insurance?
When we checked, and, they're, how all the schools do it, like Tri-City, I call them, and whenever a team travels to them, whoever travels to them, the school that's hosting is covering the insurance.
Okay.
It's not like baseball where you have to list all the courts you're going to.
Where did they practice? RGS?
They must practice at RGS. I'm guessing.
I have no idea.
Why they're not back under RGS's umbrella, that doesn't make any sense to me, sorry.
And I don't know if it was brought up last night or not, but I brought it up Monday night. Suzanne is doing a MOU or MOA, which is a memoranda of understanding for the basketball program to use the school. Under the insurance, they've asked that they do a memoranda to,
Well, that's because we use the same insurance company.
right,
Town and school use this Primex, right? Yeah.
to clarify like some of the details.
Yeah.
So I asked Suzanne, if she's doing it for the basketball program, does the summer rec program need to do it too, since we're using the same town facility, but we're a town-run we're a town-run program and not a school-run program. So she's gonna look into that and let us know.
So do they host games at RGS?
Mhm.
They should come to the school.
So, but they're.
But you
don't-
have to be a student of the school to be on the basketball team?
Not anymore, no.
Not anymore. Okay, is that what you're telling me? Okay, then maybe that's why
As
you
far as I'm concerned,
you can be
no.
any student of any,
and that will be
whatever
a
age.
conversation we'll have to have with them because
because if a St. Mary's Academy student wants to play in a Rollinsford team, they can. If they're in the age group,
yeah. they're
got
not-
it, okay. So
And-
maybe that's
And
what's
but that will
doing
be
it.
obviously a conversation when we meet with them. That hasn't
Okay,
happened yet.
okay.
And I
Because
wonder,
RGS would be only RGS students if it was sponsored through the
Right.
grade school. So maybe
Right.
that's why they separated.
and maybe the discussion is also the homeschool kids. They don't have a
They don't
team,
have it.
and they, if they're Rollinsford residents, why can't they play on the
Is this
RGS?
the one Tracy and Tim Lorian used to operate, do you know?
I don't know.
I thought it was, and then Loudon was taking it over.
Okay.
And he ran it for a couple of years, because I know he asked for our softball bylaws to write the bylaws
Yeah,
that
yeah.
they created.
Yeah.
I'm
I just
never
curious,
thought
I'll
of it.
give Tracy a call and see if I can understand why when and why it changed. But it might be because they're opening it up to anybody beyond the RGS students. Okay.
At one of the previous meetings that we had, Denise, you said you were gonna contact the school, Kate Lucas, about using the program and additional costs and stuff. Kelly talked to her.
I know she already, I did too.
Yeah,
But Kelly had already said she had, so, yeah.
yeah. So-
I talked to Kate as well, so we're all
Yeah.
set. Yeah, the projects that they're planning in the school is not gonna affect the school, the kids this year.
And there's no cost, I guess, for us to
There's no
stay
cost.
later or
No,
anything?
No, I guess not. You know, you do, I think you still have to fill out the form for utilization of the school. That's all, and there's no cost to it.
So, I don't know if you got onto Google Drives yet or not.
I have, I've got into it. I haven't gone in since you put stuff, so I need to do that. But I have gone into it.
So I will knock off your to-do list too.
Oh, I have a to-do list there? Okay.
You and Jody had a to-do list, and because those were the only two people that I took notes on,
Okay.
like, saying that they were gonna contact people, and I knocked one or two things off of Jody's to-do list as done.
Mhm.
And one of them, under you, was to contact Kate Lucas, so it'll
Yeah.
just be knocked off as done.
Okay. Good.
You contacted the fire department about training,
I'll sleep here,
and that's what, I know I had emailed you and maybe Kelly about concerns. When you sent me the original budget that you were proposing, there was no money in there for staff training. And then you sent me the new one that had staff training in it. Now, it doesn't match the numbers that I thought we were gonna go with.
Well, I think it's, that was the other low-hanging fruit, that we didn't know how many days we were actually required for training. And what the content would be, so Kelly and I were having a discussion, well, we don't even know what the content, besides orientation, I mean, what the content of the orientation is gonna be, besides, again, the orientation and CPR first aid, that would be part of it. But what else is supposed to take place, and do we just do a day, 2 days, 3 days?
And how would we find out that information? Where are you gonna
So
find
I
that
think
out?
Kelly's actually gonna go back to, actually, she did contact somebody in Somersworth who runs the camp program there. They have not gotten back to her yet, but they were gonna just sort of lay out to her what the requirements are for.
I know, and it might be Maine versus New Hampshire, but I know the person who runs the program in Elliott, I can also check with them and see,
That'd be
what
great.
they have to do.
Mhm.
So I'll find, and we can compare at least and
Yeah.
come with a happy medium.
Yeah, and so I think for right now, we put in a day, because we had no idea what it was gonna entail, so.
Yeah, and I broke mine down per day too, so that I have a number. Jody, question for you. How long does the CPR first aid run? We know we can get that answer, right?
Mhm.
Depending on if you're not doing provider CPR, and if you've ever had CPR before, you would be doing a refresher course. Or if you're starting fresh, it's an all-day course. As far as I remember.
I can find from fire department,
Thank you.
what they, yeah, I'll check on that.
And like how many hours it is, because we're budgeting on a 6.5 hour day, right?
Because were we talking basic first aid and CPR? Is that what we were talking about? Okay,
Mhm.
all right. I'll find out who they're having it,
And-
who's doing it.
The other thing I was thinking is not everybody's gonna need it. Like if we have somebody who's already in the school, they may already be CPR or first aid certified.
As long as they have an active certification.
Yeah, and I,
And we need to see that.
yeah, I
Yeah,
said
there needs to be a button for sure, yeah.
that would be,
So,
What is it?
go ahead. I think that like, that one thing for, and then I think the other day for orientation, and to have team building amongst themselves. You know, so that they can get to know each other, the counselors, and, you know, they have to make their own rapport before it begins, I think.
and the other thing I was thinking along staff training lines was that if we're going to be putting together a handbook or something, which we've discussed, and having them sign off, like, we need to present that to them and then be able to get it back before they start working with the kids, so.
Well, once you get through this budget thing and getting this
Yeah.
all taken care of, then you can start working on, and get somebody else's handbook and just like, really go through it and utilize a lot of theirs as well. I mean, they're all using the same thing. They
Yeah.
have
You
to
just
be.
may just wanna use the town here.
I'm leaving that up to Kit. I think she says she has experience doing that.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
have,
perfect, yeah. The other thing is, does anybody know, I mean, I know that Somersworth used to have something in the vocational for the health fields and stuff. And do you know if Marshwood's vocational has anything that they can get certified in the school? They do?
I don't know if it's still there, but, when Cadigan was born, so that was October of 2011, I called Little Buddy's daycare, and one of their employees had just left, and she had been there since like 2000.
What's Little Buddy's daycare?
It's a private daycare around, off of 101 in
Okay.
South Berwick, which was highly recommended. They have kids come in there from Marshwood, and that's how my babysitter actually got started there. And she was leaving because she had 2 of her own children, and she did in-home care for Cadigan for 4 years, in between my kids being born. And she went through the program at Marshwood, like the child care program.
And they do they do CPR?
I don't know if they do CPR, but I do know,
I think that they probably would.
yeah, but,
Because my thought is, if someone is already enrolled in something that's in Marshwood right now, they can take advantage of that this year or next year, and get their certification without having to be at the fire station.
yeah. And so, and I know Little Buddies closes, because we went there for a short term, a couple days a year for training, and that is included in their days of training is CPR first aid, so anybody that's worked in the healthcare field might have it.
Okay.
Now, do we know, because there was also a concern brought up about training with EpiPens and medications. Does the first aid cover EpiPens?
I doubt
If it's
it. You mean the
basic, I
fire
don't think so.
department training?
First aid of an EpiPen? First aid wouldn't cover that?
I doubt if they would. I doubt it. But I'll ask the question.
Well,
I mean, I don't know. Whose liability is it if they show them and someone did it incorrectly and they said the fire department taught us how they do it?
mhm,
Who's responsible? The fire department,
mhm.
under the town policy?
Oh, that's,
that's why I don't think that they will go that beyond. The certification for CPR is a state-issued card saying they're certified CPR instructor, okay, so that's covered, but I'm thinking basic first aid is a bandage, you know, that kind of, you know, a splint or something until rescue can get there. Maybe York Rescue could do it in conjunction with fire,
Mhm.
because they're our ambulance provider.
Mhm.
Let me check on that. Okay.
Yeah, they did a great presentation the other day too.
Just
We haven't
because
had a chance to watch the video, watch.
Did a presentation to who?
the select board.
Oh, you mean for their budget?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was great.
but you know, they have people there too that maybe they can do the training.
Because with all the peanut allergies and
Yeah, yeah. At least have the two, your counselor and your assistant counselor be trained in that, not necessarily your younger
Yeah.
group, you know, because your counselor, you're always gonna have a counselor or an assistant counselor, director or your assistant director
Mhm.
present.
Mhm.
If they aren't, they shouldn't have it. So, I mean, that would be my opinion, but,
Mhm.
so it may be getting them to learn how to do that.
And I know I worked in a private school and we had kids with seizures and we went through a period where if the parents trained you, you could give the medication, but then it became liable, like, we're talking like different things, and then it was like only certain people who have been through a medication course can give the medication, and then it was like, oh no, a nurse has to give the medication because we wanna make sure we're dotting all of our T's and crossing our I's, or whatever.
Right, and with the same with diabetes, I don't, cause I know, like the nurse has to go on field trips if there's a diabetic student, so that would be like
Well, I think that, seriously though, we have to have some disclaimer saying that we don't
Right, the parents
administer
have to
any
be-
medications.
yeah.
If your child requires these, you need to, it would be the responsibility of the parent to do it. I understand what you're saying, but I'm also saying these are kids. I wouldn't want to have that responsibility on a child, to administer another child's. Yeah,
I know.
we would have to have some kind of disclaimer, and the parents have to sign it.
And I can't even fathom
We're
what it
not,
would.
we're not going to have a nurse, we're not going to have a doctor, we're not having any kind of medical
Yes.
staff here. This, you have to understand that that's the process. Okay.
Right, yeah, that's a great idea, because, you know, some parents aren't that responsible and will send their child, and we won't know that they're diabetic, or,
Right.
so have a disclaimer.
Some kind of a disclaimer form, for sure.
So, I think we have everything we need, we know we have to have answer for Sunday, right? And we know we have a quorum, so that's good,
That's really good.
yeah. So we can just bring it back on Sunday.
And I, just look around, I think our first function as rep should be the grand opening of the skate, the ice skating.
So are they opening the skate park this year?
I'm gonna have some cold weather, but yeah, that's my understanding, they're going to.
Then we should talk to
Right.
Tia Pass, because she's the one that was in charge of Winter Rec.
Well, my understanding is that the money that Tia asked for is to have a liner and some,
She asked that for next year's budget. She only has $500 right now. The liners won't
Is that in
be
there?
approved until,
March, that's true,
March.
so what are they gonna do this year then? Use the
So-
liner that they have?
So
Or
we should
had.
have this escape.
and I don't know if she's
Yeah.
still doing it. She resigned from all
By the fire
appointments.
station.
So
Alright,
So there's only $100 this year.
I know people that could put up the ice skating rink, that's not a problem.
yeah,
So if you can find the liner, we'll
because
find the people.
a lot of, I know that they
Do you
fill
know
it
where
from the
they
fire
housed it?
station.
Family
Huh?
Fun Day,
Do you know where they
$500,
housed it?
that's Denise.
The liner? I
And
do
then
not.
Okay.
the-
And
I would
then-
assume Tita's house, but I don't know.
And
Did
the
we ever
fire,
do things
and
like
I'm
that?
assuming the fire department
That's
just,
the
the
South
water
Borough
on it.
Rollins
They put
for
the- Yeah, they put
the
the
one
hose
that
and
falls,
put-
and then who shovels it?
The weekend after Thanksgiving.
Sean was,
Christmas party.
Robert
When
Cross.
Bobby was home last winter, he was,
Okay.
spent hours and hours
I
there
think.
and putting up the boards
Do we have to
in
motion to
motion.
adjourn?
Yeah.
Because he loved doing it,
Yeah,
he was
well,
passionate about
and
it.
a lot of the firemen love to do it,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, and Sean
I'll give him a
should be
You
snow blowing it off, and we had that heavy snow and stuff, so.
And my other question is the Thanksgiving parade that you guys put in your budget for
Yes, he
$1
is now.
every
Oh,
year,
you should ask
is
him.
that the Christmas parade South Berwick Rollinsford, or is that something else?
I think
That's
the
been
minor
a
has
dollar
something
since
in
I've
it,
been here.
but I think that they was the minor.
I figured it was always the
Last
South
year,
Berwick Rollinsford
she
Christmas
did draw
parade, because it's always
And
the
then
Saturday
Sean
after
gave them
Thanksgiving.
most times it
I
gets
think
approved.
so, but.
I'm not
Yeah,
surprised by
sometimes
that,
they-
yeah,
Let me
that
break
they
the
have
fourth
done
wall.
that before.
Yes, they did do that.
Christmas parade? Or Thanksgiving parade?
It's a misnomer. It's what you call a Christmas parade. It's the day, 2 days after the,
Thanksgiving.
Turkey Day.
Christmas parade.
Okay.
it's the same thing.
Okay.
Oh, it shows in Thanksgiving in the budget, doesn't it?
Yes,
It's the Christmas parade, the Rollinsford South Berwick Christmas parade. Yeah.
So, well, what I was thinking about the ice skating rink is that we have my brother, we have Anthony, we have your family, we have all the firefighters. Oh my God, they would have a field day just out there playing with their wood and cutting it in, and they would have a field day.
And Robbie was already speaking of having boards up and then having companies sponsor the boards.
Oh, that's a great idea.
I think
I
he asked
will-
Frank already.
I will check with the selectmen. I don't know if there's an ordinance against advertising,
Oh,
because the softball fence doesn't have it either. So,
Oh, because with the sponsors of each team, is what you're saying, they don't put it
yeah,
on there?
usually a baseball field would have sponsors on the fence, and we don't. And so I'm wondering if there's an
Because it's
ordinance
cemetery
against
land.
it.
Because it's cemetery land,
So I will double check.
yeah.
So I don't know,
Okay.
but Mike's all knowing of the ordinances. It's really
Yeah.
good about it. So
So-
I will double check on Monday.
Tia was all winter things
Mhm.
previously,
Mm-hmm.
and now she's resigned. So do we need to check in with her about anything, or are we just gonna?
I'll check in with Tia and Sean and ask what the status is of the rink, are they participating at all?
Yeah.
It has, are they still actively looking for the liner, I'll check with her.
And the other thing is that I know the board had said, when they reconstituted this committee, that, we could have volunteers in different programs that were not on the committee. So, if they wanted to fill that position, I think that would be a
Absolutely.
great one.
Sure, yeah. And just because Sean's in the fire department too, and he's works actively with the firemen who help flood it and all of that,
I think
I'm sure Sean would still stay involved.
I had a full conversation with him when I took one of my kids there.
Yeah.
Long time ago.
But I'll double check that.
We motion to adjourn?
Second.
Thank you.
Wait, you can't motion.
Oh,
Motion to adjourn.
Okay, she motion,
Why
oh,
can't
she's
I?
chair. No,
so if you're a chair, you can't
No,
motion.
you generally don't.
Really?
You don't vote
I'm learning
either,
all sorts of
Yeah.
unless it's a tie.
But when you make a motion, and we don't wanna repeat it, we can just say so moved.
Interesting.
All right, so the next meeting is 6:30 on Sunday.
Sunday,
6:30 on Sunday,
yes.
and you have a quorum.
Well,
Now,